Now, here with me are 4 businesses that if you are at your 20s that you can ever start and actually grow yourself. Remember one thing, and guys at 20s, this, and maybe you have somebody whom at 20s you can share this information with them, okay? Now, if there is something great that you have more than anybody else that is out there, it is the resource of time. You have the luxury of time. And most of the young guys, they usually don't see this. And those guys who are at 40s, 50s, 60s can actually relate. And some of them, or majority of them, if you ask them, they tell you, if you dare get me back at 20s, I am telling you, I can change my life in a very tremendous way. So guys, listen, if you're at your 20s, this is the prime time of your life. And remember what I always say, from 20 to 30, try as many things as you can. Amass what you call the experience towards you. So by the time you're heading to 30, 40, and 50, you already know some of the areas that can actually work for you and can't work for you. All right, now, just sit back, relax. By the way, the 4th business is actually the best and is the business that actually advise each and every day that you can do. So watch this video to the end, all right? So let's go to the business number 1. And the business number 1, by the way, what I'm not giving you the mechanical things. I'm giving you the foundational information that you can use to actually know what I'm actually talking about. The first thing I say is that focus on the business that is focusing on something called the personal growth and development, okay? So if you can start like a business that can actually focus you on towards what we call the personal growth and development, that will be the most important business. And what example of that business is? Those businesses actually requires you for you to have what we call the skills of you running that specific business, all right? And examples of this kind of a business that require you to have an experience or in terms of skills is likes of the web design. Right now, as we speak, this is a skill that you can learn by yourself. Probably you're watching this video and you're in campus, or probably you just graduated, or probably you never went to those kind of whatever, and maybe you have some tech skills like you know how to operate a computer and what have you. This is a skill that you can be able to do and be able to earn something at the end of the day. Coding, all right, web designing, and all those kind of things. Nowadays, you can even do online writing, article writing, proofreading. All those are things that you can be able to do so that at least you earn yourself something. And if you don't like those online kind of a thing, if you go to the conventional or normal things, we have the cottages, things that you can be able to learn in Kenya. There are some of the skills that you can learn. For example, interior design, you can learn interior decor, you can learn some professional painting, graphic design. No, we call them, yeah, sure, it's called graphic designing, and no, not really graphic design. There is a name, eh? Those kind of special effects and what have you. Those are the skills that you can be able to learn, and you can be able to monetize them and be able to go ahead and make some cash out of it. Or maybe if you're a young person and you're watching this video and you have some money, these are the businesses you can be able to start. You can start a t-shirt printing business. You can start what we call a graphic, t-shirt printing business. It all fall under what we call the graphic design. You can start, we call the computer repairs and what have you, the softwares or the hardwares or both of them. It's an area that you can be able to touch and be able to progress to the next level. Because let me tell you one secret, guys, where we are and where we are heading, actually, we are going the technology way. But before you say technology way, just hang on a second. Number 2, you can actually do, hey, you know what? I know you're watching this video. Probably you're watching this video during the break time or maybe at supper or whatever the time. The fact remains, you need to eat, you need to dress, you need to actually go ahead and pay your bills. It's always good to know whether you, okay, first of all, you may find like maybe at 20s you do not have much of the money. Probably you're broke and you're looking for areas on how you can be able to cater for yourself. Because hey, I talk about learning skills and what have you. You cannot be able to learn all those skills if you do not have the stability of the mind. And that stability of the mind can only be achieved if you're able to pay for your simple bills, like your rent, your food, and your clothing. Is a simple start. So it's also good to focus on the businesses that you can actually go ahead and do this. I usually have some of my friends whom I see around. They are selling fruits, they're selling the groceries, others are doing chapatis at the evening or morning, others are actually selling the milk, others are actually out there, they have the vibandas and what have you, others are out there, they're doing the paintings, others are out there, they're in the mijengo, others are out there, they're doing variety of things, others are out there, they're selling mayais, the smochas, the chapatis and what have you, makaa and what have you. So you have to pick that what is accordance to the amount of money that you have in your pocket. Depends with that money that you have. If you have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10 10, 20, 100. So you have to actually tailor down that thing that you can do based on that capacity that you have out there. For example, right now as we speak, there is somebody who is looking for only 1,000 bob, and that 1,000 bob is enough for them to buy a coffee, prepare a coffee, cook some chapatis or mandazis, and they're able to sell that specific commodity at the evening, and they make some cash. So what you do as a young person, you look at the amount of money that you have, be an aggressive individual, obviously portray, because when you're dealing with food, you have to be neat, and you can be out there and do something at the end of the day. Can you imagine this? These guys who sell my eyes and what have you, that guy with a budget of 1,000 bob, they are done. They grab 2 trays of eggs, that's like 900, maybe around there. The 100 is remaining. You can go ahead and be able to buy a kasuku or kabucket or something of you, ama unaweza weka unga mahali fulani, chukue that kabucket of yours, you put your eggs there, prepare nyanya kama za 50, you go, you're done. And then you have the full capacity to be able to go and sell those eggs and make something at the end of the day. So it's also good to look for something that will pay your today bills. Because Henry, if I tell you today now, start learning web designing, does it mean that you're going to fast the whole entire period of you learning the entire web designing for you to acquire the skills? No. As you learn this web designing, you also have to look for an area or a way to be able to cater for your day-to-day bills. It's as simple as that, all right? The other thing, tech-related businesses. You see, I told you one thing. You're supposed to understand that we are in a technological era. And by the way, as the time goes, we are shifting now from the technology to artificial intelligence. But definitely, we cannot have the artificial intelligence without the technology. So that means that what you're supposed to understand, that what is tech related, it's really an area that you can pick, or you should pick, or you must pick actually, and be able to invest in these areas. And that's why you find most of the young guys, they are operating the cyber cafes. Most of the young guys are actually working online. They're doing these remote jobs and what have you. You find them, some are doing even forex trading, but you have to be very careful with forex trading actually. This means that you really need to, first of all, get the skills. You can't blow your money. You can lose all your money and all those kind of things. First of all, you need to acquire the skills. You see, for me, I don't sell those get rich quick schemes and such kind of a thing. So the point is this: if you want to get into forex, then you have to make sure that at least you acquire appropriate and right skills. And admit one thing: you can lose your money, all of it, with you seeing it. All right. All right, so the point is this: you get yourself these skills, you can do what we call the dollar arbitrage. Okay, dollar arbitrage, you can go find out what is dollar arbitrage. See, if you hear something that you've never heard, go find out. There's some people who are doing dollar arbitrage and they're earning a living each and every day. You can get into yourself into what we call the day trader kwa shares. You know, there are people who usually trade their shares each and every day. See, when I talk about you buying shares and holding them for a certain period of time to make some cash, there are people who do that each and every day. They buy, they sell, they buy, they sell, they hold a little bit, some hours, they sell. That is how they survive, all right? So this thing is all about tech related. You can be able to get into the software world. When I say software world, it doesn't have to mean you going back to university and study the whole aspect of softwares. No. See, these things of installing the operating system to computers, you know, sometimes understanding how the computer works and be able to repair to people, be it either hardware or software and all those kind of things. Now, those are just but examples of the areas that you can be able to pick as a young guy, invest on them, and be able to actually grow yourself. You see, I always tell people, if you close your eyes and look where we are heading, invest in that area. For example, the older age, that is the boomers, they sat down and relaxed. They say, hey, guess what? We've gotten the independence. Then what happens? The independence, it means people acquiring land and what have you, owning their homes and ruling themselves. So what does it mean? This property called land, it will be very prime in the days to come. Then let's amass ourselves as big as we can, so that by these guys, the population increases, we're going to sell them this land and we're going to make a kill. And that's why you have older people, they tend to cling in the understanding that, hey, land is the only ultimate thing that you can have and the best thing. They would rather hoard that land and they do not have any cash flow. You see, these guys, you find that they have a very big piece of land. They don't even have a car. They just live in a miserable life because they believe owning a land is kind of wealth on its own, which is true. But guess what? Right now, it's our time. Some generations to come, I don't know what they will call them. They will say, hey, you know what? This guy, how come this guy is owning a whole tech? Because right now, nobody complains about Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, how can one individual own a whole Facebook by himself? Why? A time will come when people will be leaving inheritance of the YouTube channel and the TikTok channel and what have you. A time is coming. So this is the time that people will just be writing a will one day and saying, hey, I leave my whole YouTube channel to so and so and something or so. So right now is the best time to actually get yourself online. If you have the good communication skills, you have something that you can share with people, get on the internet to communicate to people, share the ideas that you have, monetize the skills that you have, and that is how you actually make some money at the end of the day. So all what you need to do is to pick the niche that you are good at, make videos on that, or maybe get some skills on that and be able to proceed. You can even be a blogger, okay, and all those kind of things. The last one but not the least, did I promise that is the best one for me? I said invest on what we call the long-term view kind of investment. And when I say long-term, simply mean those kind of investment that you find like, yes, they do not promise you a quick returns in some period of time. Or what they do is that they tell you, invest in this area, take your time, and one day you're gonna reap. And today is on 10th of, or rather 9th of September 2023. And I wanna give you a challenge. Okay, in 2027 Kenya will have a general election, so meaning it's like 4 years from today. So how about you give yourself a very good challenge? You say this, by the time these leaders of ours, they come back and seek for the re-elections and what have you, I want to have achieved this and this and that. Say maybe you're 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, you're still gonna be at that 20s. You give yourself a challenge and say this, hey, I may not have a lot of money, but I'm gonna immerse myself into the shares. For example, I did say with even 2,000, 3, 4, 5, you can actually go ahead and own shares. You pick that company of yours that you find it appropriate and say this, each and every month I'll be topping up shares worth 2,000. Each and not a day, at the end of the month, I'll be getting my 2,000 and top up shares worth 2,000. Then continuously, you can just imagine the amount of money you ought to have accumulated by the period of 4 years. And by the time this guy comes back here and promises heaven on earth, then you'll be like, even if you guys don't do whatever you are saying, I have some cash somewhere, I'll go liquidate my shares, go start my own business and proceed in the next life. That is exactly how you plan yourself. But if you sit there, you despise that 2,000, you despise that 1,000. By the way, there's even shares you can even buy with some hundreds, like shares of the Britain. You can buy with even less than 1,000 shillings. Okay, now the point is this. You despise those humble beginnings. You despise 1,000, 2,000. What can it do for me? I must have like 100, 200 for me to make a difference. That is not how it happens. See, sometimes you close your eyes and ask yourself, have I done all what is possible? Have I done the best that I can? Okay. And what I've done and I regard it as the best. Is it truly the best out there? That is exactly some of the questions that you ask yourself. And the moment you answer them, you're going to make a difference in your life and proceed to the next level. I know by now you're feeling like, okay, Joseph, I expected you to tell us selling bananas, selling this and that. You see, you want those mechanical issues and mechanical ways of solving it because you just, no, that is not how life works. Life works with you having the foundational understanding first. So by the time you're picking a thing, you already know, I'm justifying myself. The reason as to why I'm doing this is because of 1, 2, 3. That is how you progress yourself, that's how you proceed, and that's how you develop yourself. And guess what? That marks the end of my video, but not the end of me posting a video each and every day. So what do you do so that you don't miss a video? Down below there on your right, there is a very small button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, turn that notification bell and like this video. And by only doing that, the whole YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. So for now, it's a goodbye and see you. But don't forget, you can always get my number. Where is it? On the description of this specific video, you get that number, give me a call, let's have a conversation. I offer those services pertaining to investments, finance, and businesses. Obviously at a charge, but it's a cup of coffee's price. For now, see you there.